Hi, I'm Roxy.
And I'm Diana. This is We Watch Stupid. We're going over episode 5, Suspect, of season 6 of Before the 90 Days.
Do you feel like there was anything suspicious in this episode?
I mean, Riley always thinks that Violet's doing something suspicious, and then, just everything with Tyray is weird.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's where it came from. I didn't look up if this was an 80s movie title or not, but I imagine it probably is.
Yeah. Also, Jasmine will kill Gino, so.
Truly. So we appreciate everyone's patience that we're recording late because of the holiday. I was out of town in Canada.
Perfect place to celebrate the 4th of July.
Actually, we landed in Victoria on Saturday, which is July 1st, and there was like a fair everywhere and
That's
everyone
Canada Day.
We learned, yeah. So we were like walking our bikes around looking super confused, and I was talking to a friend. I was like, "What is all of this?" And then this older couple turns around and they're like, "Oh, you don't know." And we're like, "No, what is it?" And they're like, "Are you for real?" And they're like, "It's Canada Day." And we were like, "Oh, we were trying to escape the 4th of July. We didn't know that this was happening."
Well,
and they just like laughed and kept going.
Oh, fun. Were there fireworks?
If there were, we weren't in town for it because we like rode into the woods.
Okay, so you didn't make any Commonwealth jokes or colony jokes to them? Like, what is Canada Day?
No idea. I mean, we were talking to another Canadian about it, and we were like, I guess maybe like summer is a good time to go to war.
What?
like why else would it be? Like, I don't know. I don't know if they fought for their independence.
They're not independent.
Oh. Wow. I feel real ignorant right now.
I mean, they're an independent nation, but they're still, well, actually, I don't know. I just know that they're a Commonwealth of the UK.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they do seem to love the Queen and sausage rolls over there, so.
Oh, sausage fingers. Charles.
Oh, God. Oh, God. There wasn't a lot that went on in this episode, I don't feel like. Like, I just didn't have a ton of notes for anyone. It seemed like a little bit of filler.
Yeah, I agree with you. I will say the most like, I just like, I want to start with Tyray because there's not,
Okay.
Like, why is he still on? Like, but at the same time, like, I'm sick of him now. Like, he's a dumb. Like, I felt bad for him, and then he even verbalized that it's been torture not to like look at his phone and get the text from Carmela, but he's so in denial. And this has got to be days later now.
His sister is straight up like her patience is kind of like cracking with him. Like they're at the market and she's like, "You're delusional." Like she's sick of it. She is the audience. I predict that Carmela was like could have been like an OnlyFans person, that this like Christian guy was like stealing their photos.
Yeah.
And so like I know it's like it's different. It's like an escort page, but I feel like it,
no,
kind of
because he was getting it from somewhere.
Yeah. I also think it's really stupid that he is like trying to be all sneaky about trying to see her. Like if he really wants to like hook up with this person, she's a sex worker. You can just book her.
Yeah.
No big deal. You can go hang out with her. Like you don't have to like star 67 your number. Just email her. I'm sure she'd be happy to take a new client. Like whatever.
But he seems to think that it is Carmela.
Oh yeah, like she knows who the fuck he is.
Yeah. And because he was like, well, she's in Stockton. That's not that far away. What is she doing saying that she's in Barbados? How is he not understanding that he was catfished? That this escort was not messaging him. It's just her photos.
He's also being kind of like anti-sex work because he's like, it's so like he's like offended that she's an
Yeah.
escort.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, bro, you sent her money and she sent you like explicit photos.
Mhm.
So you actually are part of this, whether or not you like whatever you call it, escorting, OnlyFans, whatever, like you are having an exchange with a sex worker of some kind. So
Mhm.
you can't go around like being ashamed or ashamed of her for being an escort.
But it's also
Not your girlfriend.
my girlfriend. And
God.
then, okay, I will say at one point he like throws his phone. He's like, "Fuck this phone. This is what got me into all this." And I was like, "Oh, you're
That's what the
understanding." Like he's like, it's just like you were just messaging someone on a piece of like, what is it, metal, fiberglass, plastic. But
yeah.
then when he's like talking through, like thinking that the escort is Carmela, and he's like, "Well, what about Christian?" "Oh, that's her pimp." Like, no,
Yeah.
man. No, man. Like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And the like whole prison story. I mean the whole like she's in prison getting out, da 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 da, that like narrative. I
that
think
was
that's what really made his
bizarre.
sister, yeah, his sister be like, you need to cut it out, man.
Yeah.
It's a weird hole he's dug himself into.
Tyray.
I know this is your kind of like your first season. I know this isn't the first season that you've watched of the show, but it's the first one that we've like done these deep dives on. And I really feel like 90 day, my like motto for 90 day is there are no heroes. Like every single person is gonna like the shoe drops for every single character, every single cast member. Like if not on the season that where you meet them, down the line, because these people
Okay.
usually end up on future seasons.
Yeah.
So nobody's
So
an
one
angel.
down. Well, we've got a couple of.
Yeah, we have a couple of people who have been like indicted in
Mhm.
terms of like reality show fuckery. Yeah.
Who do you want to go to next?
Let me see. Maybe David and Sheila, I have like
Perfect.
no notes for them except like David mentions that he should shower before he gets into bed. But then he says he's too excited and he doesn't. Would you let someone that sweaty who'd just eaten adobo with their fingers into bed to put their hands in your hair and all of that?
No, I wouldn't let someone that had gotten off a flight.
Also, yeah. I mean, it's like he's got like airplane ball sack, like outside humid ball sack, and then he's like adobo fingers.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really care how excited you are. That's fucking gross.
Do you eat adobo with your fingers all the time?
I mean, Filipino people eat with their fingers most like a lot of cultures, a lot of people
Yeah.
eat with their hands.
That's typical.
It also didn't look like adobo. It looked like fried chicken. Adobo is like a brown sauce. I didn't see any sauce.
How do you eat sauce with your like? So you like take some rice,
Kind of soak
dip
it
it.
up.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
That
dip the
actually
chicken in
sounds
it. But
really
like that
good.
chicken just like fried chicken. It didn't look like adobo to me. So I don't know. She's in Cebu. Maybe it's different
Mhm.
there, but that's not how
It was also like a.
I've ever had adobo.
I mean, you've been to the Philippines a few times or a couple times.
Hmm.
Like, was it a normal restaurant?
I think for maybe her neighborhood,
Okay.
like if they're in her neighborhood, yeah. The Philippines has like there's extreme disparities in wealth and development. So, you can go to like really, really fancy places, like really fancy malls, and you can, the restaurants don't look any different than in the US, or
Mhm.
you can be at a that looks, like kind of a typical restaurant that's probably in Sheila's neighborhood
Okay.
because doesn't look like she and her family have a ton of money.
Yeah, because like, I mean, I've been in restaurants like that,
Mhm.
other places, so I wasn't like taken aback by it. Like a
It
kind
was
of what?
it was just kind of shitty that he was like talking shit about the restaurant and
But he
like
doesn't
calling everything
know.
rundown. Yeah, he doesn't know, but like this is where Sheila lives. Like, did you expect like she lives in a house that like was blown over by a typhoon and burned down. Like, did you expect her to have like live in a neighborhood where there's like fine dining or something?
Well, no, but I guess, like, he was shocked. I guess he was shit talking a little bit, but he did mention that, like, he knows he has to keep an open mind.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, there's not a ton to say about these people. Like, they're really cute, except for the like adobo fingers in her
Oh,
hair.
okay.
Like,
I have something, it's probably insensitive.
okay.
Sign language and eating with your hands.
What about it?
That can't be sanitary. Like,
Waving around or something?
yeah,
Because you're flinging rice everywhere?
yeah,
Oh, I don't know. Didn't look like they were talking that much while they were eating.
that's true. But I was just thinking, I was like, whoa, that's like not something he would have had to deal with before.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Well, like people eat burgers and fries with their hands, so
Yeah, but that's
and
not like,
pizza, rice, grains of
yeah.
rice. Yeah. I mean, different
Oh,
challenges. I was very impressed with Sheila. She was basically speaking three languages at that
I
restaurant. She was
know.
like English into the like
Into the
translator
phone, yeah.
app, ASL to David, and then Tagalog or Cebuano to the restaurant person. Like, I would be so exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome. I thought it was interesting that he's a loud eater, but it makes so much sense.
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing. But I like that she's
What
like,
do you
I
mean
don't,
disappointing?
well, if I was Sheila, I'd be like, oh, gross.
Is
But
the
I guess I
so
can deal with it.
loud like smacking and like eating your food, loud, that's not a Filipino thing?
I don't think so.
I mean, because like in, like China and Japan and some other Asian
Oh,
countries, like that's how they show that they're enjoying it.
right.
Like
Like slurping
slurping and
noodles really loud.
smacking, yeah.
I don't I mean, my grandpa was kind of a loud eater, but he was also just like
Old.
a bro, a dude. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if that's a Filipino
Okay,
thing.
well, it sounds like it wasn't because
She was surprised.
yeah, she was surprised.
Yeah.
She put jeans on for bed.
I wrote that down too. Jean shirts to bed? Question mark.
What was that?
I I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like I mean, she was like a young mom. Like I mean, she wears that cute like yellow dress that she got, but
Mhm.
I feel like
Was that her, like, lingerie?
yeah, I don't know. Like maybe in like her dorky mom brain, like jean shorts are hot. I mean, it's not like she looked bad in them or
Yeah, yeah,
anything. It's just
yeah.
like an
I'm just
odd
like, that's
choice
not where I would go
for
with
bed.
bed. Yeah. Okay, so then it's just so sweaty and
I can't like the way his hair is like stuck to his forehead and he's all like red and like he's probably just
just,
like
like, all the
dripping
kisses are
sweat
so
on her.
cringy and just
Blech,
oh,
yeah,
yeah, the sweat dripping. It was
I
cute that they put the beds together.
yeah. Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times this has happened to you, but like having sex with someone who's like dripping sweat onto you is like just for me that that is like just so such a turn off. It just like really takes me out of it. And like, I mean, I know that it's like a natural human
No,
function
no,
or
no, no.
whatever. It's
I
like I'm
get
not
it.
you can't like tell someone not to sweat, especially if they're like doing whatever, but it's just so disarming and it's like just not a fluid that you like expect.
No,
Yeah, I don't know.
jerked on you.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not fun for me.
well, I don't know if you feel the same way, but love makes you dumb. So I know Brody has sweat on me,
Oh,
but I
sure.
kind of remember just being like, "Oh, it's Brody," or like, "He's really working hard."
Yeah, sure.
But
Like it's
that
like
was
the
like
sex
way
equivalent.
later in our
Yeah.
relationship. Not like
It's like the sex equivalent of slurping noodles, like, it's gross, but, but
aw.
but they're enjoying it. Uh, it's more the airplane ball sack. It's just, like, more the
Oh, dude, I
airplane,
still
yeah,
won't no.
it's kind of unforgivable.
3 years, no sex. He said that.
Yeah,
How
that's
long do
kind
you
of a
think it
while.
lasted?
Oh, boy.
Over, under 90 seconds?
I'm gonna go under.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. And it sounds like she hasn't been with anyone in a while
Mhm.
too. Yeah, it's hard out there.
It is hard out there.
It is hard.
Should we do Riley?
Yeah, I had a little bit of notes for them. What do you I've do you think Violet wants him to know that she's not all in? Or like
No.
that he needs to like wait on her a little bit? Like she needs a little bit of power, or do you think this is just her being bad at scheduling?
Well, oh, sorry. Where is this question coming from? Like, because like she's like going to work and stuff.
Yeah. I was kind of like, oh, so you went to work, but then it was like easy for you to like leave. Why didn't you just like think ahead and
Oh,
like
I see what you're saying.
ask for that day off or something? Maybe that's not how it's done in Vietnam, but
I mean, I don't understand because they clearly didn't talk about how his trip was gonna go.
yeah, mostly that.
But is he there for he's there for like 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
2 weeks,
2
yeah,
weeks. So, well, I mean, it would be hard to take 2 full weeks off of work.
totally. Yeah.
I I think she's playing I don't think that it's the sorry, let me start over. I don't think that it's her not being all in. I think it's her kind of like showing that she's still independent
Yeah, maybe that's more part of
or
it.
or not
Like
even
you don't
showing that she's independent, just that's how she is. She's an independent person.
I think that feels more right to me. 'Cause it doesn't seem like she's playing games. Or it's, like, hard to discern if she's playing games. It doesn't like, my gut is that she's not, but
I
then
agree, yeah.
it's sometimes just hard to tell through the television.
But do you know who
Um,
is playing games?
Whomst.
Riley.
Yeah.
What who did he call? He called some friend. Had we met her before?
I don't know. These New York accents are hilarious, though.
He's a little weirdo. What was that contraption he had for his video call? Like,
Yeah. Well, like a little tripod for selfies, like time selfies. I
nerd
don't know.
alert.
I mean, he had a VR headset on the plane,
Yeah.
so
And 3 carry-ons. We're not a fan of him.
Right. No, breaking the rules. Oh, yeah, and then, like, he's just, like, speculating with this friend that she's cheating.
And completely misrepresenting her. She didn't make plans, she went to
Absolutely.
work.
Yeah, he's an asshole. And
Yeah.
also, like, she's allowed to be apprehensive
Mhm.
about I have it written down, like, why does being apprehensive about an online relationship immediately equal cheating?
Yeah.
Regardless of how long you've been chatting, the fact of the matter is that you're too effective like, you're strangers in a lot of ways because you've
Mhm.
never met in person.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean cheating, and then he brings up how she, like, wasn't impressed by the pearls. Nobody should be. Does his friend know that it was elastic and those weren't real pearls?
Yeah.
And oh, another thing okay, so yeah, you said he's playing games. This h promise ring that is game playing. We've seen that a couple times on 90 Day. It's always the promise ring is always brought out by people who are like fucking shady, fucking stupid, are
She
just
has to
like
earn
playing with
it.
people. Yeah, it's so
Gross.
gross.
Yeah. Just
I also
barf.
wrote down Riley is toxic masculinity embodied.
I also wrote down the friend sucks. and he called
Yeah.
a friend that was going to affirm his beliefs.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah, because she was like, because he's misrepresenting her to get this woman to like validate all of his like crazy
exactly.
wildest fears.
Mhm.
Yeah, he is like an affirmation machine. He just like needs like he's so needy in like every single way. Like he's clearly like he's a needy friend. He's a needy partner. He's probably needy with his dog somehow. I don't know.
What if he follows his dog around instead of the other
I bet he
way?
does. I bet he fucking does. So she asked him to meet her at the Independence Palace. Oh, first of all, so he has the morning free and he's just laying around his hotel room in his robe. He
Complaining
doesn't
about his
complaining. He
complaining
doesn't
to the
go
girl to the friend.
he doesn't go out, walk around, get like a delicious Vietnamese coffee. He doesn't go peruse a market. He doesn't do shit. He's so helpless.
Well, he also
Um,
honestly, he probably was jet lag. He probably slept in.
you're giving him a lot of credit.
I'm also giving Violet credit because
Okay.
she figured that he
That's
wanted
true.
the day to, like, reset.
Decompress. Sure. And so that she asks him to join her at Independence Palace and she takes him on a tour
Because
of
she's an
how
independent woman.
she's
Just
an
kidding,
independent
just
woman.
kidding.
And did you
Deserves to be treated like a queen. Sorry, go ahead.
I just kind of saw an allegory in this. I'm curious whose idea the Independence Palace was, Violet's or the producers. But so this Independence Palace, the Vietnamese like leader busted through this gate to like take back Vietnam. You know,
Mhm,
the Vietnamese won the Vietnam War. The
mhm.
US doesn't like to say that they lost, but they did. And
Yeah.
she's
Well,
like,
isn't it something that, like, they're military operations, not wars? So, like, we haven't lost a war. It's some, like, bullshit semantics like that. Anyway,
whatever.
go
I
go
just thought
ahead.
it was really interesting that Riley is like game playing and she brings him to this place to kind of show Vietnamese
Oh,
outmaneuvering and Vietnamese kind of like military prowess
and he's
over the
military.
Americans. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too hard about it, but I
I
was just
love
like,
that you're thinking about that. That's
I was like,
great. I did not.
if this woman, if she is that smart and Riley doesn't get this, and he definitely wouldn't, like,
I
she's my
didn't
new
get
favorite
it. I was
person.
like, "Cool culture. Look at this palace. Wow. Things are so different other places."
Yeah. I don't know. It probably wasn't intentional. She's probably just she said, you know, I want him to know something about our culture, but it was interesting that that's the piece of culture and
Uh-huh.
history that she
Yeah.
wanted to show him.
Oh, I
Not, you know,
love that
like
you said that. I love that your mind went there. That was great.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so while they're there, she says, like she came to the conclusion on her own that, hey, she needs to, like, make time. She wanted to show him this, and yeah. So she basically, like, apologizes for playing hard to get. That's how I kinda heard it.
Mhm. Yeah, she's gracious.
Then he immediately turns around and just won't accept it and just, like, hammers home, like, he just keeps pushing, and I'm like, "Whoa, man, what do you want her to do?" Like, honestly, you didn't even ask for that apology and that, like,
Yeah.
explanation from her, but she gave it to you, so now move on.
Mhm. He's just the kind of person that can't move on. He, like, wants her to, like, read his mind somehow. Again, he's just, like, toxic masculinity, like, he's always gonna move the goalpost for
Mm,
her
yeah.
because he's expecting her to read his mind because he's terrible at being vulnerable, he's terrible for, like, asking for what he needs, he just, like he's probably, like you could bring him he's probably the kind of person, like, you could bring him, you know, like, a bunch of wonderful dishes at a restaurant. Like he doesn't know what he actually wants. He knows what he doesn't want, which is the sign of a very like immature, insecure person.
Mhm.
And he sucks.
He does
And I
suck.
don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like him either. Last thing on them, the thing about his knee, just like eye
He's he,
roll.
yeah, man baby. I didn't want you to know that I'm hurt. I'm so weak. I didn't want you to know. Please pity me. Da, da,
Yeah.
da." She's just like, she didn't seem to like feed into it at
Yeah.
all. She's just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just tell me?
Boys are
I would
so
have slowed
silly about
down.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't they just say anything? I wanna share with you, I probably told you, but Brody was pouting when we were in Iceland, and I didn't know why, and I was like, "We're in Iceland, I'm gonna do everything that I wanna do because when's the next like, we're in Iceland." And he
Yeah.
was just, like, pouting, and then I come to find out, like, hours later that he had packed a windbreaker instead of, like, a rain shield. Not a rain what like, it wasn't waterproof.
Right. Yeah.
So we're in a glacier, stripping. He gets soaked, and so that's why he was just like, "Do we have to be on this beach?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we have to be on this beach," but he wouldn't tell me he was soaked.
Just like like take a beat. Can we go get me a proper rain jacket before we stand in the rain
Or
for an
change the
hour?
shirt. We've got everything in the car. Change the shirt. You're already wet. It's not raining anymore. Change the shirt. But he was like, "Well, I didn't wanna complain." Communication. Boys don't do it.
That yeah, they really, really don't.
They just wanna be so masculine.
So yeah. Words
I
words are feminine. Words are for
Yeah.
girls.
I had a lovely time on the beach. I was dry.
Good. Good for you. You did everything that you wanted to do in Iceland
Yes.
because you anticipated your own needs.
And
All
he knew
right.
the difference between a windbreaker and a raincoat.
Also that, yeah. Amanda and Rosman, I don't have that much for them.
Me neither, because it was just one little clip, and it was this awkward conversation in the car.
She's like projecting her game playing onto him, which
Mhm.
is like so sinister. And then he like is being, talk about men talking about their feelings. I feel like he's being
Yeah,
pretty like I'm becoming more of a Rosvan fan. Like
100%, yeah.
put put the fact that he wants to be a hunk of meat on screen to the side. And that's like kind of a weird career goal. He's being very like forthcoming about the fact that he doesn't feel good in this relationship and she's being really mean and it's hurting his
Mhm.
feelings.
Yeah.
And she's like then she starts like using baby talk being like I'm sorry, like this little high pitched voice and like leaning like she's just staring at him in a really weird way while he's driving.
Well,
It's just a weird body language to me. I don't really know what to make of it, but it really put me off.
I it's gaslighting, game playing, all of that. Well, she turned it around. She said, like, "Maybe you shouldn't have made a business call," which is interesting because he wanted to make the business call to show her that it was legit or something, and so now she's just saying that your instincts are wrong.
I think in that case, his instinct was wrong because she couldn't hear anything that was going on, and they
Yeah,
didn't actually talk about anything,
yeah.
so it was a stupid thing to do, but
But
I don't
he
know.
also, like
He's running out of things to try and comfort her. Like, he's tried a bunch of different stuff to try and make her feel comfortable and
Mhm.
try and get her to stop bitching, and she won't.
But yeah, sometimes
Sh
she's just mean with him.
she's
And
like the she's like the woman equivalent of Riley, whatever that
yeah,
is. Just,
but
like, really immature, doesn't know what she wants, but she'll just keep telling you what she doesn't want.
oh, yeah, moving the goalpost or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's something that I've been told by a few mental health professionals
Mhm.
that you're not supposed to have big and deep conversation while one of you is driving.
Yeah, that's not
It was a bad idea.
doesn't seem safe.
Well, it's not just that it's not safe, but, like, his, full attention isn't on her or and
Yeah.
isn't on the conversation, no matter, like, how simple the drive is. Like, you're
Mhm.
still and so the person that's not driving can get offended because they're like, "Well, he's not paying attention." It's like, good he's not paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in this episode, I was wondering if I just hated all of the Americans. Like, is that and then, because like, okay, I'm not into Tyray, not into
Yeah.
Riley, not
No.
really into David. Like, out of David and Sheila, I'm into Sheila.
Yeah.
Obviously not into Amanda. I'm a Chloe fan versus Christian.
I mean, Cleo.
Oh, yeah, yeah, Cleo, thank you.
Hmm.
And I was trying to think, like, am I just being, I don't know, prejudiced against these Americans trying to find love?
No, because I think it's a really stupid impulse to be like, I'm in this country of 365 million people and there's nobody for
They just
me.
don't
I
get
have to
me.
go. Nobody gets me. I have to go elsewhere. I have to go be a sex tourist in a country where I can wield my American visa and money over another person. That's the trope of a lot of folks on this show, anyways. So,
Yeah, seems that way. But we'll see what happens, because maybe I'll start hating Sheila and Rosvin. But
we'll see.
who do you
I
want
mean,
to
they could
jump to?
also be on other they could be on other seasons, and like be terrible there. We have plenty of time. Do you
Oh,
want to
thank you.
do you want to do Christian and Cleo?
Yeah.
Also wasn't too much there. First note I have is stupid jacket, stupid intro. I hated watching him like get in this car with his dumb jacket.
What was the jacket?
I don't know. It was like a black leather jacket with like red and white stripes down the side. It just looked really douchey. Also, he like goes over to he drives over hungover to have like a drunk brunch with his
Yeah.
friends. I know that Minnesota is like it's one of those northern states that like is really dark in the winter and so they drink a lot, but like I don't know, they're just kind of like putting it on TV that these people drink and drive a lot.
Ooh, true. But also, just he went over for brunch and he asked for a whiskey. Just whiskey on the rocks. Isn't that not kosher? Like,
Seems like a very odd choice
don't
too.
you have to have a Bloody Mary, or you have to have a Greyhound at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very odd choice. They're also like these two friends seem nice or whatever, but they're like talking about how much they drank the night before and talking about how much they drink. And to me, that is just like a dead ringer for like, oh, these people still think they're like in college. Like
Oh, but they're
they're
in
in their,
their early 30s, right?
yeah, they're in their early 30s, but they're having keg parties in their backyards and they're like talking about how much they drank. And I was just like, oh, so he's friends with like adult babies and he's
Yeah.
an adult baby.
And I mean, I like drinking. I like drinking, but yeah, we're too old to discuss like, oh, we drink more than the average person. That's not an average like night of drinking or something. Like,
I just remember like in college being in like the dining hall, like trying to, get like eggs into my face so that I could, make it through the rest of the weekend and be like, oh my God, I think I drank like 6 beers last night, you guys. Oh my God, da da da. And
whoa,
like,
that's so wild.
yeah. But his friend says so he's been talking to Cleo for 2 months and he says that this is his longest relationship.
Wait, is he taught like what I heard was that they heard about Cleo 2 months ago. Like, wasn't he talking to her longer?
Oh, I don't remember. So
I'm gonna
maybe,
go back
yeah,
in my notes. But yeah, so that made me think that like, oh, they're not like he's not being forthcoming with his friends.
maybe. And then the shoe kind of drops with him, like, I guess, outing Cleo to his family. And I feel like this whole situation kind of just shows how he talks out of two sides of his mouth. And like
Mhm.
we kind of got an inkling of this when he was talking to his friends before about the fact of like Cleo being trans, because he was like in his ITMs he was like, if I were to show my family a picture, like, she's just like a hot lady, like,
Mhm.
he was like bragging about her being like cis passing and really hot. But now that his family knows, now he's like having all these doubts. Like, could you imagine being so excited that your partner is coming to visit you from another country and then them being like, I don't think we should hold hands or kiss in the
What the
airport
fuck? Yeah.
when we meet. So
Like, his family
fucking
isn't gonna
terrible.
be there.
I would be like, don't come.
Yeah.
Don't come. Like she's
Ugh.
being really freaking patient, and I wonder if it'll be to her detriment or if she will like be able to set him straight when he gets there. Like,
Yeah.
but like, why would you, if you're trying to be in a relationship with someone, do you want to have to teach them about accepting like transness? Like, he already knows this about her. He, like, why didn't this go through his mind before? It's just
Yeah.
because his family knows now. It's so fucking gross.
It's really gross. It's disheartening, to say the least, and why does he need his family's support this early in the relationship?
That too. And then he's like talking this big game to his friends, like, yeah, I don't need those people. But yeah, also maybe we shouldn't hold hands in London where I know nobody in my family will
Yeah.
never
It
go.
like,
Like,
I don't wanna kiss or hold hands in public, but, like, you're still filming a TV show, so even when you're not in public, like, in the hotel room, it's gonna be public.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so bizarre.
It's his first time abroad. He said that, which makes
Yeah.
sense, so we'll see. I mean, London will be an easy transition, but yeah.
Yeah, I just hate that he's already bending to his stupid family's transphobia.
Mhm.
And like this guy is Cleo seems like a very smart, like self-aware, self-possessed person. Like I hope to God she doesn't let this person, this idiot dude, like walk all over her, treat her like shit because she's too hot, she's too smart, and
Mhm.
he's not like what is he even bringing to the table
No,
besides
0. Nothing.
he likes her?
I don't know.
He lives in a freaking basement with like weird posters on the wall, and he has like bad weird rosacea skin, and he has a douchey jacket, and he's like he doesn't even seem like that funny or nice. Like,
I'm glad you brought up the rosacea skin because there is so much makeup on him in his ITMs. Like,
oh yeah, it's not good. Like, bro, just use a toner and some sunscreen, it'll help.
I liked Cleo's cats, which, I really like dogs right now, so I was surprised that I liked her cats. There
They
was a
seem really
picture that they
cute.
showed where the cat was just, like, doing a Zoolander face, and I was very impressed by it. So I'm glad that she has them and that they're at the Airbnb with them.
I was so surprised that you could bring a cat to an Airbnb.
Well, if they're, like, emotional support, she says that they actively reduce her anxiety, so I'm sure it's something like
Okay.
that.
Okay, that makes sense. And I mean, yeah, she has that like lanyard thing. I'm sure it's part
Mhm.
of her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, then good, because those are really cute cats. And
Mhm.
I'm not looking
Yes.
forward to getting to know Christian anymore. I think I already know what kind of a piece of shit he is, but I am looking forward to seeing more of these cats.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Do you wanna do Gino and Jasmine or next or Meisha and Nicola?
I think I want to do Misha and
Okay,
Nicola because I have a few more notes about Gino and Jasmine. I feel like we've also
okay.
just been ending with Gino and Jasmine because they're the most outrageous.
Mhm.
First note for Misha and Nicola: drink water, Nicola.
Yes, please do. This is the couple where it reverses. I hate Nicola now. I'm into Meisha. Like, I
Ye-
like the American in this couple.
yeah, she's I. There's nothing like I'm suspicious because she's on this show,
Oh.
but like
That's why
I
it's
don't
called that.
maybe
But
yeah suspect, but I don't. Yeah, she's really done nothing wrong here except for act like she's waking up when she's in a full beat with contour. Like Nicola like shakes her awake and she's like, oh my gosh, the first sun of the day. And then she takes off of her like eye mask and it's
Yeah.
like, that's contour on your cheek.
But he's also like, he's so annoying. He's treating her like a child. Like, it's 7:45. You're sleeping for so long. Like, that's not that late. Like, after a long flight.
I mean, he says it in the ITM towards the end of their segment. he's the man. He's the man.
He's the
And
virgin.
she is the woman. She's a female, so she's got to do what he says.
The term heavy petting.
They really focused in on that.
It was funny to me because I know what they're talking about, but that the producer asked him, "Was there any heavy petting?" He didn't know, and I'm like, "Okay, that also tracks." Like, but Meisha said that they didn't do anything that God wouldn't be proud of.
Yeah, making out. I guess God loves that.
Yeah, and heavy petting.
So the next morning she's like ironing and she's she's talking around the fact that they're not going to have sex and he's like not super touchy-feely.
Mhm.
But she's putting it in terms of like her expectations for a relationship of which she has no experience. She keeps saying like, how are we going to close that gap?
He doesn't
Like,
understand at all, yeah.
yeah, close the gap of like intimacy. And like that would be like that is so confusing, I think, for someone who like hasn't been in a relationship before. I mean, it's like clearly coming out by the end of their segment that he
It's so
doesn't
immature.
know how to negotiate or like talk to a woman or
Talk to a partner.
talk to a partner, right? Thank you. And yeah, is she going to be up for this task of teaching him like literally everything about being in a relationship? Like that would be so freaking exhausting.
It would be exhausting, period. But because he's so stuck in like, I'm the man, you are the
Mhm.
woman, like your silly little fears, or we'll get into that
Right.
later. Like that, it's going to be impossible.
Yeah, I don't know that he's ever going to take her that seriously.
It's not even serious. It's just, yeah, yeah, I guess you're right. It is, he's not going to take her seriously.
Yeah, I'm worried for her. She
Yeah.
seems like she really like has like I think for both of them they see this as kind of like a necessary step in their faith. I think also because like
The
for
sacraments.
Catholics being married is a sacrament and like I think they both see this as like I think for her she sees like Nicola as this like totem of like this is like if I'm going to be this faithful person, this is the person I need to be with because he is like so
Mhm.
godly and everything. And then I think for him he's like this is the hottest person that I will ever be with and she's also into God and I can talk about God with her forever. So like I'm probably not going to do any better than this.
Well, you're not like, regardless of if she's hot, like it is a woman who just wants to talk about God with you, and it's fine that you're a 46-year-old virgin who lives with your mom.
Yeah, good point.
When they were going through, like he was taking her around, and it kind of it dawned on me that this is sort of a pilgrimage for her. Like she's super into religion, and Israel is full of religion. Um,
Mhm.
so even though it's to meet Nicola, I think that this is gonna be just, like, a really cool eye-opening experience for her.
That's true.
Um, but then they start talking about the mom and the brother and family.
1 second before we get into that conversation, they're going around to all these monuments in Nazareth and I couldn't help feeling like this is kind of like one of those Hollywood house tours but for religious monuments. Cuz he's like this is like a fountain where Mother Mary may have drank. And I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, okay. Like that
it's
probably has
so
some
funny.
significance for him, but like my parents took us on this like Hollywood house tour and they were like, this is like probably where Madonna lives. And like this is like probably where Harrison Ford lives.
Like, wha one time, Hugh Jackman ate at this cafe.
Exactly.
Yeah, 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 that's a really good parallel.
Yeah. So what did you make of his whole like kind of omission about to his family.
I think I understand. I guess, like, I understand why he wouldn't tell him, but at the same time, she is there. It's not just this pen pal you have online, like,
Mhm.
and if they've been talking for 7 years, there's a lot of omissions that are happening in conversations with your brother and mom throughout those years. So then it does tend to be lying, but I don't wanna say that because that's what I used to get in trouble for in high school.
Lying by omission.
Yeah.
Do you think that your mom is gonna ground Nicola?
Yeah.
Christine's gonna, like, pop up on this 90-day show.
And but I guess I get why he's omitting it to his family, but I don't think it's a good reason. And
I
then
don't really understand it at all. Like, why I don't understand his point of view at all, personally.
well, when he started when she said that essentially she was hurt by it and, she she wants to get to know his mom and his brothers, and then he goes, "Where in the Bible does it say you have to tell your mom
Oh my
that you are
god.
here?" And like, oh my god, I would just get up and walk away. But she does love the
Yeah.
Bible, so
Like, is this just gonna be the whole relationship? Like, the Bible doesn't say I have to do the dishes. Like, the Bible doesn't
yeah.
say I have to walk the dog. The Bible doesn't say I have to like your
Yeah.
daughters. Like,
So
what?
so do you think he's ashamed of her?
I I can't tell. I also like I'm curious if this came up before she got there. If she was like, I want to meet your mom, I want to meet your family. It's really important to me. And he was like, yeah, yeah, sure, sure, shut up, and like brushed it off. And then this is her
Oh.
opportunity to kind of like take him to task on camera for being shitty about it. I don't, I think maybe he would probably feel some shame because she's divorced. She's clear. She's obviously not a virgin. But like, what else? Does this like what other options does his mom think that he has?
Like a 15-year-old.
Ew.
No, but also his mom's not Catholic. His mom's not
Yeah,
religious. So
I I think
or
it's
no
like just the Arab culture of like
yeah,
wanting him to date a
yeah.
virgin who isn't divorced.
But they're 7 years in, she's in Israel. Man up or
I
woman up.
don't I don't know. I really don't understand this man mostly because he can't seem to articulate himself
Mhm.
properly. He's like later when she's like still kind of pressing the issue in the hotel room, he's like laughing at her because
Totally brushes it off.
he
It's
just thinks
so
it's
rude.
it's so ridiculous that she's asking anything of him.
Yeah.
And the you're the most cute when you are mute. Like that
Ugh.
was horrifying.
Yeah.
I can't see like I'll be so disappointed in Meisha if she like stays with this guy
Yeah, if he
because
doesn't change at all.
I really do think that she's smarter than this. Like nothing is saying like if she stays with him, it's like the sunk cost fallacy that I've been like cheating or excuse me, like chatting with this guy for 7 years, and so that means I wasn't exploring other opportunities. Like you're not that old. Like you're like the fact that you found someone after a divorce and raising children at
Mhm.
all, like you made time for that. You can make time for that again.
Yeah. She's really well spoken and she seems very wise in relationships and she does a really good job of explaining herself,
Hmm.
and then explaining to Nicola about his or deflective mechanisms.
Yeah.
Like, I was impressed by her, I guess, communication through most of this episode, but it was just so like, "Oh my god, why are you even bothering having this conversation? This is never gonna he's never gonna understand."
Yeah, that part.
What is there like a tactic where like, 'cause he kept saying Meisha over and over again. Like, he was like, "You think too much, Meisha. Okay, Meisha, we'll do this." Like, it just seemed like almost like manipulative. Like, it's on I don't know.
Yeah, like maybe instead of being like honey or baby or sweetie,
Yeah.
like you
It's like,
think too much, sweetie.
okay.
Like don't da, da, da. I don't know. We'll probably learn more. I don't understand why. I mean, kind of like the same thing with like Christian. Like he didn't like think through all the steps of like meeting this person
Mhm.
like in real life. Like he says they argued on the phone.
Yeah.
So why do you think that when she gets there, you're not going to have any kind of disagreements?
'Cause you've never been in a real relationship.
Yeah. She's just like her kids, her daughters seem like real nice and sweet and like she did a good job and they're like almost out of the house and then she's going to like marry this guy and like need to like
Raise him.
change his diapers. Yeah,
Yeah.
like what are you doing, lady?
Yeah.
I don't know.
In a couple episodes, we should guess if they're gonna make it or not, like, each couple.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're only season doesn't it seem like the season has dragged on forever? It's only
Well,
episode 5.
we still have another couple to meet.
Yeah. I feel like because they're introducing her so late in the season, it's not really gonna go anywhere, but yeah,
Uh,
very
mm.
curious.
Anything else on Meisha and Nicola?
No. Sick
Okay.
of him.
Yeah, drink some water. You know what's similar to water? The light beer that Gino ordered at the bar, pussy.
And he's back to his baseball caps. He left his fedora in the apartment or whatever.
Yeah, I just hate him. Yeah, so he's at that bar, he's ordering a light beer, he is just awkward with everything, he's taking a sip, then he starts talking to the bartender, and at a certain point, I was thinking, "Is the bartender gonna get through to him?" And she did. It was incredible.
I like it's like she must have been a plant, like a narrative plant. I like don't understand.
I mean, maybe, but I also boys don't talk. Like,
Mhm.
if, I'm having an issue with work or Brody or whatever, like, I'll
Yeah.
bounce it off of you or,
Yeah.
boys never have those conversations. Like, I'll get, like, fiery pissed about, like, something, and I'm like, "Brody, this isn't normal, like, ask someone
Uh-huh.
about it." And
Yeah.
and he's like, "Who?" I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah, this is why you think it's normal because you don't talk to anyone." Like, you don't
Let me
have
just
any other opinions.
let me just tell this like bartender I have no relation to like literally everything because they're right in front of me when I feel like talking. Yeah.
Exactly, that's what happens. Oftentimes with Brody, it's the parents of the kids he's coaching,
Oh no.
which it's not he's not telling him anything, like, wild, but all of a sudden he'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, so and so mentioned this and that." I'm like, "Great, I'm glad you're talking about
Yeah.
that." And they're wiser than both of us,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like he's just such an like unimpressive person.
oh,
I
yeah.
mean, like, listen, not all of us can be great. Not everybody can be like mega hot and successful and like a good communicator and whatever. It's just like the bar is just so low for people like him.
Mhm.
And he's just coasting there. And
Yep.
it's
Oh,
yeah, that's where it
it's
is.
just gross. Oof. So then we skip over to Casco Casca, which I've also been to.
Dang, you just
I know.
did
It's,
a
like, so cool.
rooftop bar tour of Panama.
Sure did. That was a hard scene to watch. Jasmine just ugh. It was
But she breaks down like every episode.
it was hard to watch because it was so pathetic. She does break down every episode, you're right.
You know what's really frustrating about her is her self-awareness. Like
She
she
does know. Yeah.
she is like so aware of her triggers and her trauma and like what she's bringing into this relationship from her past relationships, and yet she still lets it like really get the best of her.
Mhm.
Maybe because she's telling Gino these things and he's like doing nothing to like help her like manage it, because he's like, for her, such a like triggering terrible partner.
Yeah.
But you can tell, I don't know how old her sister is, but her sister's like clearly so sick of her shit.
I
Like,
know. And she at one point she said, "What do you get from loving him? He just hurts you." And it's like, "Oh,
yeah.
yeah." And then
And she's
Jasmine's
like,
just such
please
a
drink
mess.
water and calm down. Like, drink water and calm
Yeah.
down. Like, you're screaming. This is an Arby's, ma'am. This is an Arby's. Like, ugh.
Why are you bringing Arby's into this?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's really hard to watch her like screaming and all of this when she's like, and she's just like a smart person. Like, she's an articulate person. She was a freaking professor of American literature. Like, she's not a dum dum. It's just so interesting to me when people are like book smart but not like life smart. Like, cuz you can read books to be more life smart, you know?
Well, I have not an intimate relation I have a close relationship to someone who's book smart and just, like, the dumbest at life, and no, you can't learn from books about life.
Do I know them? Wait, are you talking about me?
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm
Okay.
talking about someone I'm related to.
Oh. Oh, okay. I got it. Gotcha, gotcha,
Like, there's
gotcha.
something about, like, just experiences and well, it's not even like I don't know. It's just like some people are logical, some people aren't.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So then they
But she just
like,
loves drama. Jasmine just can't get over it. Just can't get
I
enough
mean,
drama.
and that's why I'm coming around, like, yeah, I like her on TV. I want to watch her on TV,
Mhm.
even if it's like frustrating sometimes.
Have you ever sprayed some perfume your nether region?
Oh my god. No. I don't understand what that is about. Like, if someone's gonna stuff their face down there, I don't think they care if it smells like Chanel.
It better not. It better smell like vagina.
Yeah. Like, yeah, wouldn't that be weirder? Like, oh man.
And probably, like, if you, like, perfume can't, like, taste good. Anyway.
No. Have you ever like sprayed it like around and then accidentally took a big
Yeah.
breath and you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no. Yeah, that's not where that
Well, and
belongs.
also Gina's not gonna touch her. But, yeah, so they meet up. She's scared of losing him. He's scared of losing her. She apologizes about when she gets angry, she attacks, which I don't think she needs to apologize for because I agree with her when she's angry.
Yeah, that's true. Gino is bad in bed and her exes are probably better.
And he is an idiot.
Yeah. Did you feel like they were acting a little weird at this dinner? It just
The 2
felt
of them? It
super
was super weird, yeah.
it felt super fakey, and Gino looked like he was trying not to laugh the whole time.
Well, I thought that was him looking like he didn't wanna throw up. And him go like and he's like, "I'm not shaking," like, he's shaking the whole time. I love the producers.
Yeah, maybe. And then they're like chill on the prenup. Gino's like, I'm not gonna have a prenup. And then
'Cause he understands the cultural difference because he asked one other person.
that's right. He got an outside perspective
And
from
but,
this
like
14-year-old
I
bartender.
know, which, like I mean, I say this with Brody, it's like, if he's not gonna believe me, then, like, go ask someone else, get another opinion, but then when you come
Oh
back and
yeah.
you know that I was right,
Yeah.
like, can I start getting some street cred here? Just, like,
Yeah,
maybe
seriously.
start listening to me?
Yeah. Oh my god.
But
Uh,
she shuts up
uh,
her mouth because she was ready to give in.
yeah. And then she starts talking about the will.
Before she starts talking about the will,
Okay.
when it goes, he drops the prenup. Then she
Mhm.
immediately starts feeding him and baby talk goes, and it's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, wow, you guys." And
Yeah.
then he goes and
Barf.
immediately asks about the will. Like, can't let it just, like, I don't know, marinate a little bit that, like, "Hey, you won. Like, you
Yeah.
won this."
So odd. And, like, it's odd that if he doesn't have a will and they're married, wouldn't she be the default person to receive
She
the assets?
Yes, and so my understanding is her concern is her concern is that he's going to die between the time that she gets to the US and they are married.
Suspect.
Suspect. She loves drama, she's gonna kill him.
She really is like Jasmine, if you're going to plan a murder, don't do it on national television. Um,
How like, she won that prenup was, like, multiple episodes, like, brought up different times in their relationship, and she won.
yeah.
How did she not just, like, I don't know, just relish in that for a bit?
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, if she doesn't already have a producer credit, like she should, because now she's creating more episodes of drama with The Will. So
Is
good
she
for
moving the
her.
goalpost?
Probably, yeah, sounds like it.
I like her.
But yeah, without a will, like she just needs to read up on American marital law, family law. Like if she's going to be like harping on him like this, she needs to just kind of like
Just wait
maybe
until you
understand
marry
stuff.
him before you kill him.
Yeah, that would protect you like way better than
Yeah,
like insisting on this will. I like
and then you can get
she's
life
like,
insurance.
I can't wait for 90 days and like in the US. I can't be
Yeah.
in the US for 90 days before I murder him. Like, are you kidding me? And then he starts talking about if he does die, everything's going to go to his family,
He said
which
that?
makes yeah, he did. Which is like that's weird. Like it's weird that he doesn't have a will or he's saying he doesn't have a will. Because if you have assets, you should have a living will. So it you nobody goes to probate over it, which is more expensive. And
Whoa, you know so much. Do you have a living will?
yeah, I do.
Whoa.
I listened to a podcast series about Terry Schiavo. She went into a coma at 24. I don't know if you remember
Oh, I
the news
do.
coverage when we were younger. Yeah, and she didn't have a will. And so her family insisted on keeping her alive and made her
Oh,
husband,
yeah,
who
yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
take her off of life support at the devil, because he was like, she's not responsive. She wouldn't want all this attention. She wouldn't want people seeing her this way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not like I have a ton of assets, but basically everything's going to my sister. And when I told her that, she was like, great, you gave me an errand from the grave. I'm like, okay, fine. You don't get my Roth IRA, bitch.
Oh, man. Little sisters, am I right? We're just sunshine.
You guys are the pain of my butts, in my butts,
Yeah.
my two butts.
What in the butt? You said
Yeah.
what in the butt?
So, I mean, there's speculation, and by speculation, I mean it's basically confirmed that Jasmine is already in the States because her Instagram is like she's been going on runs and like she'll like take a selfie and it'll just be like the sky, but there will be like pine trees in the background. So people are like, there's no freaking pine trees in Panama. Like
Oh,
she's got to be in Michigan. And
those
she's been
arborist sleuths.
and she's been taking videos and selfies at like a Planet Fitness, and people are like, this I don't think there's Planet Fitness in Panama City, and
Mm-mm.
also that is the level of gym that Gino would shell out for, so she's probably in Michigan.
Oh, man. F, Mary kill?
Yes. Do you have a good one?
I don't. Should we do people or random things?
Let's let me just think about this for a second. Oh, okay. How about one of them should be Gino's little like bartender lady. Okay, how about the bartender lady, the restaurant guy in Cebu who like broke the
The
key
bat.
to, and the kettle corn vendor that Tyray and Lashanti get kettle corn from at the Modesto Farmers Market.
Wait, I don't really. I remember that, but what was so special about him?
Nothing really. He was
Okay.
just like an older Asian man who
Okay.
was selling kettle corn. So basically, do you want beer, kettle corn, or
Oh,
chicken adobo
it's really great.
in your life?
Oh man. Okay. Okay. Fuck, marry, kill. Kettle corn guy, bartender. I'm gonna marry the kettle corn guy because I love kettle corn. I bought some yesterday. It was totally overpriced. I'm gonna eat some later.
He owns his own business.
Yes, he's an
Oh,
entrepreneur.
yeah.
And it's gluten free.
Oh, good point. Yeah. So you're not worried about all the sugar and stuff?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm definitely marrying the kettle corn guy. I'm gonna I don't have anything against the restaurant guy. I like him. I want to keep him as a friend, but I have to marry the bartender. I have to marry the bartender because she was great.
I
She was
mean, she
great.
has a good outlook on prenup. She understands cultural differences.
She
It
does.
seems she like
Does.
basically was a marital counselor for Gino. So yeah, she's
Exactly.
definitely
And she didn't judge him and his dumb drink order, or seemingly didn't judge him. And so then I have to kill the adobo guy.
That's okay. I mean, it didn't look like he knows how to make adobo anyways, judging by what we saw in those containers. So,
What would you do?
and actually, I think I'm gonna have to do the same. Yeah, kettle corn guy seemed real nice, owns his own business, like probably like real self-starter, outgoing. Like who knows? Maybe that's even just like his weekend gig and he's hustling during the week. Like
Ooh, yeah.
I'm a A person. I want to be with another like go-getter type A
Mm,
person. And then yeah, fuck the bartender because like A, she was hot, and B, she
mhm.
is like I'd probably get free drinks out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Good point,
uh,
good point.
yeah, adobo guy. Yeah, I don't think you actually know how to make adobo, so
Yeah. Also, how did you break the key?
I mean, I feel like I've probably done that before, but yeah, pretty disappointing. All right.
Yeah.
We did it.
Woo!
All right. Thank you all for listening.
Yes,
We
thanks
appreciate
everyone.
all we appreciate all four of you.
Mhm. There might be 5 or 6 at this point.
Oh, for sure. I know we have at least one listener in Singapore, so shout out to you.
Hi.
All right. Take care, everyone. We will see you on Sunday with our special guest because Diana will be in Nashville. Woot woot.
Woo!
All right. Bye.
Bye.